Yeah, so, okay, I didn't know they had all that planned out. This tells you how distant I am from the planning of this whole thing. All right, so we're going to go straight to it. You need to have your writing pad. If you don't have one, you can ask, and we can help you with that. Yeah, so the mentorship hub came because we've had a number of demands from people who have been asking, how can we be mentored? How can we have one-on-one discussions with you? And it's not sustainable to sit down with everyone individually and talk with them. So we figured we can create a hub that is a follow-up to our 10th summit. We had one in May, and this is going to be like a follow-up to our summit, so we can have more time to analyze some of the things that were discussed at the summit. This first edition, we have Uche, Apeh, we have Isaac Onoja coming around. Eventually, that number will reduce to maybe just 2 persons, so that we can have a lot of time to just talk. So within today's schedule, there's a 1-hour bit that we left out just for interaction. And we're going to ask questions, discuss. I'm going to throw questions to you, and you can throw questions back to me. All right, so now, when we had our meeting about this hub, I had asked the team to give me an idea of topics that they think we should address, which was why, did you at the summit, when we gave the form out to people, the form had places where we asked people, what do you want to learn, and people give different topics and different thoughts towards that. One of the things that we noticed is that almost everyone said they want to learn how to be a motivational speaker. And that was alarming to me. Even Chris wants to be a motivational speaker. He's a QS, making good money, all right? But he wants to be a motivational speaker. So, the bottom line was that we wanted to see what people wanted to learn to help us define what to teach, right? And somewhere in that discussion, we had considered to address a study that I have taught before that teaches you basically how to start a business, how to grow a business, how to own a business, all right? Any kind of business, even if it's a church. Pretty much you can apply the same principles. But on a second thought, we felt before you own anything, you must become. It's more important to become than to own. It's more important to become than to build. You have to first be, right, before you can own. Am I correct? So we decided to theme this event Become, because we felt that the real need that we have is not a need to own a business. It's a need to become, and we'll explain that eventually, and you get to understand what I'm trying to say. There is a lot of imbalance in the lifestyles that we have. I am an architect and practice architecture fully. We have a full-fledged architectural company. We recently started a restaurant. We have a media firm. We are currently building a farm, as we speak, on the 1 hectare land. And there's a lot that we're doing, do you understand? But that is not really who I am. I'm first Apeh, am I correct? Yeah. Before I'm an architect. So, what you're going to remember in the next 200 years is not just going to be Apeh the architect. There's got to be something about him beyond what he does that stands out to you. So our goal today is to help you become, give you certain principles that will help you build your life in a way that you can build anything else. Do you get that? Does that make any sense? Now, I heard a story that I'd like to share of a young author. At least now I can talk about authors. God has given me one book, only one. All right, yeah, it's not the first book that we have written, but the first book we have published, and thank God. And also, we try to, in our summit, we don't usually pray. We just do the national anthem and we do the pledge. But I told my guys, I said, this is mentorship hub, so man, I'm in charge. I can show forth my personal principles here. If I believe in Satan, I will tell you. If I believe in God, I will tell you. And in my case, I believe in God. I'm a believer, so I must show that here. Because this is a more. If you don't want it, they don't even have glass, so you can pass through the glass. So, all right, yeah. So there's a story I like to tell about an author who wrote a book, very interesting book, How to Become a Millionaire. That was the title of his book. So, I mean, that's easy to sell compared to the one I wrote, Problem Power. People used to even be confused, Problem Power. You understand? Especially Christians may not buy that book. Christians would like to read a book that is solution power, generational solution. All right. So when you write a book and you say problem power, it's like you are promoting the devil. So he wrote a book and he called the book How to Become a Millionaire, and then went to his roommate and told his roommate to borrow him money to publish the book. And the roommate told him to go and read his book. So now, that may seem very rude of the roommate to do, but it's very logical, and that's where I want to begin this morning. You see, because if you write a book on how to become a millionaire, it means that you know how to become a millionaire. And I promise you that it doesn't take a millionaire to print a book, because you can start with 1,000 copies. Am I correct? Yeah, so we began printing our own book. We did about 6,000 copies and we spent a few millions, but that's because of the volume we printed. If you were going to print 1,000, you can get that done for less than 1 million. So if you have written a book on how to go to Makurdi, it means you have been to Makurdi. Certainly, at least, even if you don't live in Makurdi, you have been to Makurdi. Am I correct? So if you say, how to get to Makurdi, and then you now turn and say, please, how do I? Where is the next turn to Makurdi? There is a contradiction. The reason why this story is very fundamental to what we're trying to achieve here is because that is exactly what this generation has become. So at the May Summit, I was talking about a foolish generation, and I will explain for those of you who were not at the summit. Now, the problem is that we have people in our generation writing books on how to become a millionaire who have no clue what it means to own 10,000 naira. Do you agree? Now, that's the same problem we have with everybody trying to be a speaker. So I was really alarmed. I'm telling you the truth. That's why I made up my mind we must address this issue. So the question I want to try to answer at the end of this is if that desire is correct or not. So you guys will help me to answer that question at the end of this session in the next 30 minutes. People want to become speakers when they have nothing to show. I never desired to be a speaker. I'm not even still a speaker. I'm a lot of things. I promise you, I don't think of myself as a speaker. I was telling Josh, where's Josh? I was telling Josh in the car just now on our way here that it's exhausting to keep up with this schedule because I love my job as an architect. Let me tell you guys what to expect. In the next session I'll be teaching you how to balance your job, your business, your passion, and your career. Do you like that? Yeah. Now, I love my job as an architect. I love my job as a father. I love my job, especially as a husband. I'm also into a bit of ministry, and I love what we do in ministry. I've always liked to serve in the background. I'm not a fan of this microphone. So a lot of people admire me with the microphone, and that is just less than 2% of who I am. The microphone is simply an overflow for me. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a cup for who I am. Whatever you hear off the microphone, I just droplets from the overflow of that cup. Are you getting me at all? My real life is in this cup. The microphone is just what is spilling out. So you can't call me a speaker. Because speaking for me is outside the cup, first of all. So I'm really surprised that people just want to speak. I would have understood if people want to teach. I'm getting the difference now. But my concern is that people want to speak and not teach. Because you don't need to have a microphone to teach. You don't even need to talk to teach. All right. So now we live in an age that knowledge is becoming more difficult. Like I said at the summit, there was a time that ignorance was a problem. It was everywhere. Today, the real problem now is knowledge. Knowledge is everywhere. It has now become very, very difficult to be ignorant. So what we are dealing with today is no longer the lack of knowledge, it is the definition of knowledge. Because we have so much information now that before we need to learn how to learn. We need to learn how to be informed. Today, we need to learn how to decipher information. From knowledge to valid knowledge. Come on, say valid knowledge. Because if you're not careful with the flow of information, you will just die. You will soak in too much that you will not take one step. And when you're doing chemistry testing and experimentation, they will tell you that there's a volume that is required. Once you exceed that volume, you have spoiled the solution. That's what they call it, right? When you put one or two things together, they say it's a solution, right? But if you exceed it by a gram, you may just destroy what you are trying to create. That is where we are now in our time. There is so much information that if you are not able to pick the right ones and put it together in your solution, you'll be creating more problem than creating solutions. So the real problem of our age is no longer getting knowledge. It is identifying valid knowledge. Because information is everywhere. So you can no longer impress me by what you know. I'm telling you. If you like, read 20 books. It's good to read books, so at least I'm writing one now, so please read. But I'm not impressed by how many books you have in your shelf. All right, let me tell you this. In fact, the books in your shelf is a threat to your life. For so many reasons. Number one, it exposes you to a lot of information that you may not have a clue what to do with. Number two, you need to prove the books that I see in your shelf. Does your life look like the books on your shelf? Are you following me now? To become anything, you must know to access, you must do to possess. Anything. For those of us who are Christians, there is a prayer we usually pray. Do you know the prayer? Open doors. Open doors. Hey! Open doors. And for many of you, that prayer has been answered. The prayer has answered. The doors have been opened. Do you know what that is? When doors are open for you. It's called access. Say access. Say open doors. It means nothing. There was a time that, it was important because a lot of doors were locked. In Africa, doors are locked though. Africa, you have to unlock the doors your great-grandfathers locked. You have to unlock the doors that your mother-in-law people locked. There are doors to be unlocked. Many doors are locked against Africans, to be honest. So it was important for us, especially as Christians, to unlock some of those doors. Don't get me wrong. So open doors was a good prayer at some point. Now the doors have opened. Because when I see your life, Emmy and I see your life, Didi, and see your life, Chris, I know that doors have opened for you. That's access. One of the things that opened those doors for you was knowledge. And the knowledge in this context is not the knowledge of things. Sometimes the knowledge of people. Experiences. Experience is a form of knowledge. Do you agree with me? So, experience will open doors for you. Knowledge will open doors for you. Knowledge ultimately will give you access. You really cannot become anything without open doors. Do you get that? But open doors will not make you. Open doors will give you access. That's all it gives to you. I can give you the key to First Bank. First Bank to enter the hall. Does that put money in your pocket? No. We can try it on Monday. Let's go to First Bank. I will just get there now. Just say, in the name, open, and we enter. And I'll leave you there and I'll go. Will that solve your problem? No, it will pay your bills. It's not open door you pray for. I've opened the door of First Bank. First Bank. But you enter First Bank with the door opened, but no money in the pocket. Because now, to withdraw your cash, you need to enter the bank. But entering the bank alone is just access. The next level of becoming is possession. How do you possess what you have accessed? And you know to access, you do to become. So one of the things I was teaching at the summit is that knowledge is the opposite, valid knowledge. Now we know that it's no longer knowledge. Valid knowledge is the opposite of ignorance. So now with this understanding, do you agree that some people are ignorantly knowledgeable? It means that they know, but they know all the wrong things. They know things, they know a lot of things, but everything they know is wrong. So it is what? Ignorant knowledge. They know, but they are still ignorant because it's not showing. So we said at the summit that ignorance is the opposite of valid knowledge or the absence of valid knowledge. And we said that laziness is worse than ignorance. Because you can't always help ignorance. Sometimes, I'm an architect. Who is a doctor here? Is any doctor here? Pharmacist? No pharmacist here. What else do you have now? Yeah. Engineer. But engineer is like architect now, bros. Microbiologist. What did you study? Mass comm. Theater arts. Now, you see, so I'm an architect. There's a lot I don't know about theater arts. Does that make me a useless man? No. Now, I know things in architecture which I should know. The things that I need to know with theater arts is not valid to me. It's knowledge. So it's not valid to me. So I focus on architecture. So, but I'm ignorant in theater arts. So my ignorance in theater arts is a must. I cannot help but be ignorant in theater arts. So sometimes you cannot help ignorance. That's the point I'm trying to make. But you can always help laziness. So that's why laziness is worse than ignorance. And sometimes people are ignorant because they are lazy. Are you following now? So we also progress to say that wisdom is doing what you know. Am I correct? So now we know that knowledge gives us access. Wisdom gives us possession. Because wisdom is you now doing the things that you know. So, what is foolishness? Those of you that came for the summit, don't do expo here. Emiene, you are in front, you are in trouble today. So, what's foolishness? Knowledge is the opposite of ignorance. Valid knowledge. So knowledge gives us access. Wisdom gives us possession. So wisdom is doing what you know. Are we correct now? So wisdom is doing what you know to be valid. Am I correct? So what is foolishness? Sorry? Okay, yeah, so
the opposite of wisdom.
So laziness is the opposite of wisdom, and I agree. Now, foolishness is the opposite of wisdom. So, foolishness is not doing. So, do you see that you need knowledge to be foolish? Are you seeing it now? Yeah. You don't qualify to be a foolish person without knowledge. Anybody who is ignorant can never be foolish. He's still at the realm of ignorance. He has not grown yet. He needs to warm up. To be certified foolish with NAFDAC number, you need to know. Knowledge is a requirement for foolishness. That's what I'm saying to you. So you see that those are your books now. You see, are you proud again now? Those books on your shelf. Are you seeing now? What you know, write this down. What you know must shape what you do. And what you do must show what you know. Does that make any sense to you? What you know must shape what you do. I mean, if you know, and it's not shaping what you're doing, then you don't really know. What you know must shape what you're doing, and what you are doing is simply showing what you know. You guys will get this in 2 years' time. You see, what you are doing now, let me explain what I'm saying to you. You are not getting it. I'm saying to you that what you are doing is showing what you know. So it means that what you think you know is not what you really know. It's the one you are doing that is telling me what you really know. If you read a book that tells you principle 1 to principle 10, and you are operating at principle 2, that is what you know. You don't know 3, 4, 5 to 10. You don't know it. You read it, you saw it, you heard it, but you don't know it. Because if you know it, what you are doing will show it. You don't know what you read. You know what you are doing. That's what I'm saying to you. And many of us are not there. Do you agree? Many of us are not there. When I was young, when I was a young believer, I used to in my preaching, revival preaching, I say the true test of holiness is when you're in the room with a naked woman that is beautiful. And it's true. Stop preaching holiness in church. Go outside. Let them offer you 2 million naira to sign a forged document. That's when I will know what you really know. Are you following me now? I can never be corrupt. Never. You don't know what 10 million looks like now. Do you know 10 million? It's when they give you forged paper to sign. They say, I will give you 10 million. You will say that it's not just paper. It's just paper. And you are pastor's younger brother. You have been, I have never given bribe in my life. Just calm down. Till you have the opportunity to collect the bribe. You are saying that you have never given bribe. Okay. Wait until they offer you the bribe. You will go back home to see your wife. You'll be sweating. Say, babe, we need to pray. Say, babe, what is the problem? Say, God, just open a mysterious door. The door is very mysterious. I just don't know. I mean, there's a door like that for 10 million naira, but it's a mysterious door. It's a mysterious door. It's not mysterious. It's forged paper. If you want the money, sign it. I just go. Let's leave this matter alone. You understand what I'm saying? What you do will show what you truly know. And truly, if many of us can get there, we can do amazing stuff. We can become amazing stuff. Because that's the real becoming. I mean, that's actually, at that point, you're already becoming. Now, oh my God. I wish this was a Christian meeting. Let me speak in tongues. The goal is to have you to become at this level. But that's not the vision. The ultimate vision is to have you to grow. Do you agree with me? The ultimate vision is to have you to grow. So, okay, let's say this way. You need to know to access, you need to do to possess, You need to understand to become. Does that make any sense? I'll explain to you. And then I'll bring this to a close. I can't even touch. I've not started this thing. No. This is introductory. I'm still at introductory. Let's assume that we have let's say 20 points. I'm like on number 3. So we'll have to close this session. All right, so you need to know to access, you need to do to possess, you need to understand to become. So, I mean, you're not wondering in your mind, what's understanding? What's understanding? Imagine for a second with me that you have a friend who is a pilot. A pilot. You know what a pilot is, ba? There's a fly plane. So imagine that the friend tells you, what's your name, man? Chioma. Please come, Chioma. Me, I'm your friend, I'm a pilot. I have to be the smart one, man. You are the pilot's friend. You don't know how to fly plane. Come. So imagine that I'm a pilot, for instance, and I tell Chioma, this is a Boeing 747. Yeah? 737. 7 what? I don't know the name. So it's a Boeing 737. And, press the red button and then we'll take off. Press the red button. Press it now. And we take off. She knows, right? I told her something. I gave her information, so she knows. Did she do? She did now. I told her to press the red button. She pressed the red button. Did you press the red button? The thing took off. It took off now.
But it doesn't make me a pilot.
Good. So will you allow her fly you tomorrow? No, they told you in Club 10 that you need to know to possess, you need to do to something. So she knows to access and she has done to possess. So let her fly you.
I can't even fly myself.
Please put your hands together for her. Sit down, Chairman. You see, a lot of times when we come for summits like this, where's Gloria? Gloria is a summitier. Come. She's an architect. Put your hands together for Gloria. Gloria attends like 5 summits every month. I used to ask her, I said, what are you learning? What is summits everywhere? So you see, like Gloria, what she does, she keeps going for summits. And in most of the summits, we tell them, you need to press the red button for the plane to fly. And then we'll tell you, like in Club 10 now, I will teach you how to do, and you press the button. The problem is that we don't have understanding. We really don't have understanding because we're just so desperate to become. So, knowledge is acquiring valid information. Wisdom is doing what you know. Knowledge is to really understand what you are doing. Did you get that? Does that make any sense to you? I really hope, thank you. I really hope you guys get it. Because many of us have been told the things that we know. Many of us have been compelled to do what we know. But we don't even know, we don't understand what we are doing. If I was a chemist, for instance, and you tell me to put sulfate chloride, whatever that is, into a solution, I have the information and I take the action. I say it will turn to red. And it turns red. I knew I did, but I have no understanding. So to truly become, and that's why many of you are in pursuit for mentorship. I was sharing with Josh in the car as well, that I'll say this and I close now because I can't even touch this thing. It's not possible. I was going to teach you guys the difference between being alive and living. Is that cool? Yeah, but I can't touch it now. Sorry. In your dreams. So I was telling Josh in the car that many people want to be mentored. Uncle Isaac, you're welcome, sir. Please put your hands together for pharmacist Isaac Onoja. He's here. So I was telling him in the car that many people want to be mentored, but don't understand that you are mentored at the frequency of your inquisition. It is a protege that determines mentorship, not the mentor. So when you tell me that you want to be mentored, I mean, I can't respond to you. I don't know how to respond to people online or when they talk to me, sir, I want to be mentored. I don't know how. Because, I mean, I got mentored by being mentored. I mentored myself from being mentored, I was observing people and watching people and asking questions to be mentored. Nobody sat me down and said, Apeh, do 1, 2, 3. I was the one that engineered the mentorship that I received. I get what I'm saying? So it is a prodigy that determines what he or she receives. So what I'm trying to say to you is that while you are becoming, please know to have access. Begin to actually do at least 30%. Many of you may never get to 50 in your lifetime. But at least try to do 30% of what you know to be valid. And you need to understand why you are doing what you're doing. The why is important. The smart people always want to know why. Always need to know why. So you need to understand, why am I at this summit? Why do I want to become? Why do I want more money? Why am I even making more money? That is where understanding comes in. And then when you are able to create that balance, then you can go to the next thing that I would have taught you guys, which is how to live. But this is all I can say within the time. Thank you very much. God bless you.